Salveta. In this lesson, we'll be learning about the word and about questions. First, let's focus on the word and. The word and in Latin can be translated two ways, either with et or que. We've already been using the word et in sentences. For instance, if we said the farmer and the poet, we would translate that as agricola et poeta, with et and going in between the two. There is, however, a second way we could translate that, and that is using the word que to mean and. Now notice que has a dash in front of it. That's because it's a suffix. It is a word that is going to get attached to the end of another word. The trick is, it will always be attached to the second word in the pair. So in other words, if we were to translate that same sentence, the farmer and the poet, instead we would not translate it as agricola que poeta, but rather agricola poeta que. See how the pair is agricola and poeta, but que is getting attached to the end of the second item in that pair. The difference between these two ands is very slight. In class, it won't matter which one you use, but if you're wondering, the reason why it has two different ands is that que typically joined two words which were more closely linked in concept. So for instance, these would be words like macaroni and cheese, peanut butter and jelly, salt and pepper. These are things that are commonly and closely paired. So for instance, you would get macaroni cheese que, peanut butter jelly que, salt pepper que. And that's it for the word and. Let's move on to questions. We have two basic question words that we're learning this chapter, quid and ubi. These will be used fairly similarly to how we use them in English. They'll start the question, and then we'll have the rest of the sentence afterwards. So for instance, if we asked, what are you carrying? We would simply ask in Latin, quid portas? If we were to ask, where are you? We would translate that into Latin as ubi es. We do have another type of question though, and that is a question which can be answered as either yes or no. These would be questions like, is he fighting sailors? Or, are we capturing lands? Each of these could be answered yes or no, unlike the previous two questions. If you answered yes to, what are you carrying? You wouldn't really be answering the question. For these, we're going to have to use ne attached to the end of the first word in the question. It could either be arranged in Latin as pugnat nautas or nautas pugnat, because of Latin's flexible word order. In either case, we would add the ne to indicate a yes-no question onto the first word in this sentence. So we would either get pugnat ne nautas or nautas ne pugnat. No matter what, it gets attached to the first word. Likewise, are we capturing lands could be translated as either ocupamos terras or terras ocupamos. But now we have one more step. Since this is a yes or no question, we'll have to add ne somewhere in here. See if you can pause the video and add ne in the appropriate places. If you did it correctly, you should have gotten ne on the end of ocupamos in the first one, reading ocupamos ne terras. And in the second one, you should have attached it to terras, giving you terras ne ocupamos. That's it for questions. We'll practice this more when we see each other again in class. Waleta!